What's up, watchers? Will here with your Godzilla Kong video for the week. So it seems like you guys seem to really like the versus vid, so here's another fantasy fight for y'all. Despite him getting a lot of crap as a kaiju, the monster officially known as Zilla has lived in infamy for some time since the Godzilla '98 film and following TV series. So I figured, what if we pitted the TV series Godzilla Jr., aka the good one, against the legendary MonsterVerse Kong? Let's get right to it. So I'll start with Kong, since now the movie's out and we know a little bit more about him than we did before, which was mostly speculation based on what the details we got before. So his basic stats. Kong stands at approximately 31.7 meters and weighs 158 tons. His arms also seem to be a little longer than his legs, so developmentally he's a little top heavy. Personality. Since he's been the reigning king of Skull Island for so long, he has a very powerful fierceness that comes out when angered, but can be peaceful when he sees fit. He is also quite smart, using nearby objects and debris as melee weapons and projectiles when fighting. So Kong, we know, is pretty well-rounded, exhibiting a variety of traits from gentleness to anger. Finally, skills and weaknesses. So this Kong is pretty young when we see him in the 70s, being around 28 or 30, so we can say that he has some pretty good staying power, and we'll be having him fighting in his prime for this specific fight. We've also noted that his intelligence and abilities for tactics, his immense strength despite not even being fully grown, as he can take on multiple skull crawlers and take down the Mire Squid with ease. He's also quick, being able to dodge while fighting. He has a high endurance and stamina. He's adept at climbing, and he has powerful sight and hearing, being able to even see through fog. His only real weakness is that he doesn't really have protective armor since he's covered in fur, and his size, which is relatively small compared to most monsters, but he is still growing. Now on to the combatant, Zilla Jr. from Godzilla the series in the 90s, who I chose frankly because he could do a little more than his father could and was essentially superior in every regard. So firstly, we'll start off with basic stats. Zilla Jr. stands up at a 90 meters tall, being about 180 meters in length, and weighs a whopping 60,000 tons, so he's a pretty hefty boy. Next is personality. Zilla Jr. also has quite a bit of development due to his show, showing him to be quite loyal to his adopted father, Nick Totopoulos, even to the point of re-killing his own father as Cyber Godzilla. He has also shown a sense of tactfulness and planning when he fights, even occasionally a little bit of playfulness since he's actually pretty young, being only about maybe 2-3 years old max. So this kaiju also seems to be quite well-rounded as a developed character, having a very defensive and protective personality over those he cares about. Lastly, skills and weaknesses. Well, we've noted his intelligence and his ability for strategy. He also has a much greater durability and healing factor compared to his father, who was swept by only missiles. He has immense physical strength, generally winning fights through brute force, as well as being an incredibly agile monster. He has a high stamina, he has burrowing abilities like his father before him. Oh, and he also has the signature green atomic breath. And like Kong, also has a powerful senses in both smell, sight, and hearing. So in regards to weaknesses, he seems to stay away from bright lights, electricity, and also poison, which nearly killed him once. So between our two combatants, who in my opinion do I think should win? See, Zilla Jr. on one hand has had a lot of fight experience in his prime and very young age, but by comparison, Kong has been fighting and conquering for over 2 decades, with also a wide variety of monsters just like Zilla has. Zilla is much bigger and very adept, but in that regard, so is Kong in some areas. For me, I hate to do this, but I gotta kind of put it at a draw. Here's why. Both have a pretty fair potential cause for one or the other. Since Kong's smaller in size, but vastly greater in fighting experience, he could get in there fast and probably just snap Zilla's neck if he's quick enough. At the same time, Zilla Jr. has atomic breath. He's an amphibious creature as well. He works very well under pressure, being able to change strategies in a fight just on a dime. And we've seen a lot of what both can do, and I think this specific Zilla, especially at his size, even though he's a lot taller than Kong, but this new Kong, they can have a pretty lengthy fight despite the size differences. They both have a lot of experience despite their young ages, but I think it would be actually pretty interesting to fight to see how it turns out. But please, tell me down in the comments what you guys think, and also don't forget to like and subscribe to Hybrid Network. I will, and and I will catch you guys next week.